Guys, something that I honestly thought was never going to happen, something I thought was impossible, has in fact happened. After years of pressure from other OEMs, Samsung and Google, an entire ad campaign basically from Google, Apple is actually going to adopt RCS for their phones beginning in 2024 with a system update. Now, in case you just don't know what RCS is, let me kind of very quickly outline this for you. Currently, if you have an iPhone and you send a text message to another iPhone user, that message is sent through iMessage. And if you do that, it's going to arrive to them very quickly. You're going to have read receipts. You're going to have the thing that says someone's typing. Your multimedia messages, your pictures and videos are going to look very, very good. But if you try to send the very same messages to an Android user or receive messages from an Android user, someone that doesn't have iMessage, you're not going to have those things. It's going to send it over the old protocol, which is SMS. The pictures are going to look much, much worse. The videos will look much, much worse. Of course, there's no encryption. We'll talk about that a bit more a little bit later. RCS is something that stands for Rich Chat Services. And basically what RCS does is it replicates pretty much all of the things that iMessage is good for on Android, but it's not something that is like Android specific. It's something that anybody, well, not anybody, any OEM, I guess, could license from, let me make sure I'm getting this correct here, the GSMA. Anybody could license this. So Apple could license this and use RCS on their devices as well. And that is apparently exactly what is going to be happening. So with this software update coming next year, what's going to happen is you're on your iPhone and you try to send a message to your friend who has an Android device. Of course, they don't have iMessage. So instead of reverting to SMS, which is kind of garbagey at this point in time, it's going to try to send it through RCS. So they're going to get it much quicker with better image quality, better video quality, read receipts, typing, all of the stuff that you kind of are used to getting with iMessage, they'll be able to now get with you through RCS. So whether you're messaging another iPhone user or an Android user, you're actually going to have a pretty darn good experience now messaging each other, which is just a great thing for everybody involved, I think. So before we go any further, this reporting came from 9to5Mac, of course. That's where this is going to be coming from. And they have a statement directly from Apple. When I first saw this news story, I thought this was a joke until I saw this was 9to5Mac and it was actually coming from an Apple spokesperson. Really didn't even believe this. Here is the statement. Later next year, we will be adding support for RCS Universal Profile, the standard as currently published by the GSM Association. We believe RCS Universal Profile will offer a better interoperability experience when compared to SMS or MMS. This will work alongside iMessage, which will continue to be the best and most secure messaging experience for Apple users. Now that last bit here, iMessage will continue being the most secure messaging experience. There's already some kind of confusion going on here, and maybe this is going to make it worse. Maybe it'll make it better. I don't know. Those of us that have been using RCS, Google Chat, on our Android devices for a long time might be thinking, well, RCS is encrypted as well. It's end-to-end encrypted. It's very, very secure, just like iMessage is. So why would they think that iMessage is going to be more secure? Well, that is because end-to-end encryption is not something that is built into the RCS Universal Profile. This is something that Google added to it for their implementation. Again, they're licensing it, and then they've added on to it. That is what's happened. So it may be the case that Apple is just going to license RCS Universal Profile, roll that out. You can see some of the things here, iMessage style things, as I've talked about. Here are the same sorts of things being said. Again, you can use it with Wi-Fi, all these great things, but perhaps no end-to-end encryption, which I think would be, some people would think that's very dumb and a very weird thing to do, but I think it's a very Apple thing to do because they're going to continue to want you to feel like iMessage is better, right? If you've got RCS right there and it does everything iMessage does, that might kind of be a bad thing for Apple. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if they leave their version not end-to-end encrypted so that iMessage continues to be superior on these Apple devices. Now, it's also possible that Apple just doesn't want to use Google's version of RCS with their encryption. Maybe they'll take that and make their own encryption on top of it. That I think would be a good win for everybody involved, but it is definitely something that there is a little bit of uncertainty about right now. Take that stuff with a pinch of salt because we just don't know, but it's definitely a possibility. They may just think that iMessage is more secure than what RCS is, but if they add their own encryption, surely that wouldn't be the case. If they use Google's encryption, maybe they would say, yeah, you can use Google's encryption, but ours is better. I don't know. I'm rambling a bit there. Why are they doing this, though, maybe is the bigger question, or a very important question. Are they doing it because of the pressure from other OEMs? Or are they doing it because of Google's little ad campaign that they've been running for the last little while? I don't really think so. I think that the real reason is because they're already facing regulation in the EU, right? So things like USB-C is a thing on the iPhone 15. That is because of regulation from the EU. It is entirely possible that Apple sees the writing on the wall and understands the EU is going to probably try and force them to kind of tear down a bit of their walled garden and improve the interoperability. And they're trying to just get ahead of this. They think they're going to be forced to do it. So they're like, hey, we're going to make ourselves look like the good guy this time and just say, yeah, we're doing this of our own volition. It's not because we're being forced to add USB-C. We just wanted to do it for you guys, right? Because that's a win for you. And it's because we're nice and it's just a good thing that we're doing. I think that's probably more likely what is going on in terms of the why. Now, another aspect of this that I've kind of not talked about a ton, but it's definitely something that is a big part of this conversation. It's the blue bubble, green bubble thing, right? This is something that I personally have not really experienced, but we've all seen the news stories. We've read the stories in general from other people about, you'd call it maybe bullying, right? People that are blue bubbles looking down on the green bubble people. Pretty sure that's right. Blue bubble means you have iMessage. Green bubble means you don't have iMessage. We've seen stuff about kids in school picking on the green bubble people. We've seen things about people making their dating decisions based on what bubble somebody has, which all sounds absolutely ridiculous to me. And I guess what I could do here is I could just show you something that I posted on Threads as soon as this was a thing, because this is just what I think. If you think RCS is going to make iPhone people not look down on green bubble people, the people, I shouldn't say all iPhone people, that was probably poorly worded. If you think RCS being there, effectively meaning that whether you have a green bubble or a blue bubble, you have the same features, the same, you have good quality videos, good quality pictures, your group messages should be totally fine. Now, if you think that reality is going to make it so that the snobbish, smug people who will talk down to, disparage, look down upon people who don't own an iPhone, if you think that's gonna make them stop doing that, you are being silly. Because the reality is, the social dynamic is not going to change, and it was never about those features. It was never about which one was better or worse. It was about in-group, out-group, and people are still going to do that just the same either way. The people who were being snobbish and being mean to people who didn't own an iPhone, they're going to keep doing that. Nothing's going to change with those people. It's not going to stop the bullying from people. Nothing about that's going to change. The reality is the problems that people had with poor image quality, poor video quality, maybe group messages being broken, although I've been in so many group chats with iPhone users with my Android, and I've never had any issues. They've never complained to me, so I don't really know what that is. But at any rate, all of these problems are super duper easily fixed, right? Like, it wouldn't be that difficult to just be like, hey, use WhatsApp when you talk to me or something like that. And if you have friends that are like, well, I'll never use another messaging app, and because your pictures look bad, I will not talk to you. That was not about the features. That was not about the bugs. Those are just jerks. And like I said, that's not going to change with this happening, right? The people that were cool, you probably already found workarounds to talk to them already. The people that weren't cool are going to continue not being cool. At any rate, guys, I talked way longer than I anticipated about this subject. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this a big deal? Are you excited about this? I think it's cool, right? Like, it'd be nice that the few people I talk to that have iPhones at this point, that, maybe the pictures coming and going are going to look better. Like, that's nice. Cool thing that'll happen. I think it's a win-win for everybody. It's going to improve everyone's lives. It shouldn't hurt anything. But again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think it's going to change the social dynamic? Do you think I'm wrong? You can tell me in those comments. I'll see you on the next one, guys. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.